Come a long way over the past 2 years, I would say. Originally, it was between show or unattached, and my family and I was like combating that. And then after junior year state track meet, I was like, I need someone who knows what they're doing for real, so I can come back next year and win this thing. So this is when show comes in, and like, let's do this. And then we're training all summer up till now even, and it's been great.
So I really wish your parents were here for this. Your dad his recollection gives me goosebumps still. So yeah, we were in conversation. So I coached at Jasiah's high school for a couple of years, but I didn't coach him directly. Yeah, so junior year, his sprints coach left the team. His wife had twins, and there was a new coach that came in. So he was progressing, but you know, the big track meet is that state meet, and you know, Elijah, who was here earlier, and Jasiah, neither of them made the final. So I remember distinctly we were in the parking lot after a couple conversations with Jasiah's family, like, I'm not sure we have this informational. They came to the informational in April, but they didn't like necessarily commit to ATA just yet. But after that, Jason, Jasiah's dad, was just like, he was crying on my shoulder and very upset that, you know, the season ended like this. So they wanted a different outcome, and we had training that next Monday, and Jasiah was there. So we've been rocking ever since. You've always been the guy, like even from like 7th grade, 6th grade when you were running, you're always the guy in the 100. You know, it takes a certain mentality to do what you do. Like, talk about how like your times have steadily dropped, and then why that was so jarring for you as a junior to not advance and all that.
So yeah, like you said, like everyone kind of recognized my speed back in 6th grade, 7th grade, and then I kept improving times. I kept getting faster, cutting down on everything. Just freshman year, I broke my school's 60-meter record at a 7:04, and then COVID came and the season stopped. But I was still cutting down on times. In sophomore year, 10:72. I don't remember what my 200 was. It's not really relevant. That wasn't. Yeah. There was no indoor season sophomore year because COVID restrictions were still pretty high. Junior year, I come out in the 60 with a 685. That's way less than freshman year 704. 100 meter. This is where we get the conversation of like not improving. I kind of plateaued, maybe even regressed a little bit. And coming off that year after year trend of getting faster and then not getting a new PR my junior year was rough. So then come to the summer and then work on mechanics, work on endurance, work on everything. And then come into my senior school year with my best times yet, even after the first meet, is really important and really great. Having brief conversation would show he still saw things wrong and still saw things I could be better in. So that's another big reason why I started training with ATA and show, because I've always been seeing like friends of mine and other athletes like committing to schools like super early, and I wasn't there yet. And I've always had the dream of like becoming, like having the title of a Division I athlete. And I felt like junior year was the most important year to get a time that would get me to that level. And then crying on my dad's shoulder, like, I feel like that was it. Like, I felt like my track career was like over. And then coming into ATA, like, Show knows what he's talking about. So I needed to be with somebody who knew what they were talking about and has been around the sport for a very long time, and someone I could trust to help me unleash my potential. So then I started training all summer, all the time, every time. And even over the summer, like, I still wasn't running stellar times, but still kept training. I still had to believe in the future. Like, Coach Cho was trying to tell me that, like, you still have time. But me being a perfectionist and being a little bit impatient, like I really didn't trust in that. Like I felt like it was over still. Like I didn't want to say it out loud, but like deep in my soul, I felt like I want to run somewhere really good, but then like I'm not producing the times necessary yet. The summer was rough, especially I was involved with a lot of other stuff too. Like I would leave the house at like 8 in, not come home till like 8 at night. I'd be out doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff with summer school and all that. But yeah, I just had to trust and get a coach who was consistent and always there versus like my previous years of high school had a new coach every year. Even after him saying these things I can work on and me already thinking that I was great, like that opportunity that I saw down the road was like huge. So like I had to get it in with the show for sure.
What? This is actually really good because I'm learning things too. What made you feel like you're battling Division I opportunities, potentially getting further and further out of my grasp, but you're also fighting, if I can get this down, I could be in a different stratosphere as an athlete. How do you stay patient here without letting this demon grab your ankles when you get out of bed every morning?
It took a while for me to get there. I didn't get to the point where I could perfectly balance like this is getting out of reach and at the same time but once it clicks that the gap will be closed really quickly. I probably didn't understand that and grasp that until this past AAU indoor season. I remember very, very specifically, it was the Chicago invite where like I ran like a 688, something like that.
I remember this race too.
And
689.
689,
yep.
This guy. And I remember coming at the blocks, whatever, block clearance and block techniques at the beginning were okay, I guess. But I remember starting to stand up. I might even stood up too early, but seeing people next to me and like panicking once again. And crossed the finish line, see I got third. And the people who beat me, like I could easily beat them on a good day. And then I was like standing there, and I was like, this will be the last time I will ever panic during a race. Because that panic mindset is what was really making me stressed out about like that D1 opportunity, like getting out of reach is panic. Like I was panicking. People were telling me I had time, but I was still panicking and not believing that I had time, but I really did. Because now I know where I'm going to school.
And that Chicago meet was the first one that was a nationally covered meet. It was the Moralike Iconison Invitational. Moralike ran from the Chicago area, ran in Illinois, ran in Texas, Olympian, world champ, all that stuff. And Mile Split was covering this meet. And I specifically chose this meet to support Moralike, but because I knew there'd be interviews. And of all the people, Jaden won, but he would have had to jump really high to get an interview. With the times that you run naturally, like you had run 686, the meet prior to that in December, if you ran that or something in that ballpark and you won, you were going to get an interview. So I really wanted you to get an interview for that first meet. But I remember coming up to you and I'm like, we can't, like the narrative has to be different, you know? And I remember looking at you were disappointed in yourself. You were really annoyed. And that made me feel like, okay, I think we're moving away from I'm gonna panic or I'm gonna let this situation get away from me. I was more confident after we spoke that day, but you know, watching your race plan fall apart to a degree, right? Because it wasn't a terrible race. You're right, to run 689 is not a slow time. But to make the mistakes that we made and to still run as fast meant that you're gonna run something faster down the road. What I love about ATA and what I want this experience to have is I want us to create an environment that allows us to have more confidence when we transition out of it. So I want the scholars who, that do get to run track in school, they've been on a big stage, they've been in a big race where the stands are packed and people know your name. So you get to another opportunity. It might not be, you've never run college track, right? But you've been on a stage where, okay, I'm at least familiar. So creating that familiarity was really important. Jasiah's he's the fastest, he's the strongest, he showed up the most. Like, success hasn't been a mistake for you. And I think, I can get annoyed with sometimes you're kind of lackadaisical to get into training, but the fact that you keep showing up and you showed up every week from, barring football season, we don't talk about that, but you showed up very consistently, and no one has been more consistent than you. No one's stronger than you. No one jumps higher than you, right? So everything that you've done, you've earned. What I think was really ironic was this idea of delayed gratification. It's not like you did what I asked. That Louisville meet where we had to rerun it, that was a 6.7 something. I thought it was 6.76 just based on the format we put it in or whatever. But I think it was really great that didn't happen, because it made us more patient on the process of execution. All right, this worked well, but I think you would have been really content, because 6.7 is still fast. You'd have been okay, well, but it puts you into another zone of execution now. Can I hit the ground more? Can I be more patient in the drive? Can I hit the ground more in the drive? All those things came to play. So I'm super proud of you, and I'm super happy that it didn't happen immediately, because it wouldn't have meant the same.
Yeah, for sure.
Just had a revelation at practice. Jasiah knows that he could use the ground. He could hit the ground in the acceleration, right?
He's so hyped right now. So hyped.
And Micah is learning that his lead leg is part of his success in the hurdles, getting it above his hip so he can step down off the hurdle.
And Lauren caught that.
Lauren did catch that. She said, what's he focusing on? That was all his focus was on that last rep. It's gonna come. It's coming. Putting this on camera, I'm speaking into existence. Jasiah will be 672. 672 in the 60. Micah would be 808.
I'm saying 806.
Yep.
I've always felt and believed that I had that potential in me for the longest time, but that's where my stress and my a feeling of hopelessness came in, because I had that belief in the depths of my heart, I think I have the talents and I feel like I deserve to run at a Division I college someday. But when I wasn't producing those times up until now, it was rough. So first indoor school meet for park tutor, run the 60, and I run a 6:69, and I feel in the race, I knew it was fast, but I just didn't know it was that fast. Running across the line, and then walking over to the side, waiting for my other teammates to get done running so we can walk back into our camp together. That's what I just do. And then I like watching. And then a coach taps me on the side. He's like, look at the board. I was like, I was like, is that real? Is that for real? Because I've never 6.6 something is super rare, especially in Indiana. So I'm super excited. I'm oh my gosh, this is my dream is finally becoming tangible. I call Show about it. He goes crazy. He goes nuts.
I didn't answer the first time.
he didn't answer me the first time. Yeah.
You're like, what? Hurry up! I gotta.
Yeah. I got the hurdles coming up, man.
So, yeah, that's when I started to truly believe, like, okay, let's keep doing what I'm doing, keep training how I'm training, and then more doors were open. And yeah, I would say that day was like the day that like it became like it's like within my grasp finally. Before like I'm warming up for that 669 race, the Indiana Wesleyan where we were at, and for some reason I'm like even more nervous than I was for like all the AAU meets against like with the national coverage. I think it was like first meet senior year running for my school. It was like a different type of feeling because I got to represent like you know what I mean. It was weird. I couldn't feel like my shoulders. It was like a super weird like feeling. I was like really nervous. People were like, "What are you nervous for? You're gonna win." I'm like, "Yeah, but still, I gotta run well." So I'm also in like lane 8, which is also really weird. Lane 7. Sorry. It was like I'm normally used to be in the middle, but now I'm on like the very outside, and I'm in the blocks. I'm like set, go, do well in the beginning, go, and then I'm transitioning to my max velocity, and like it's been a big emphasis in my training to like hit the ground beneath me, because my whole not a whole track career, but most of my track career, I was told
10,
you gotta drive
11,
your knees.
12,
And I'm thinking
13,
like, okay,
14,
so
15.
I really didn't fully understand what that meant. So like up till now, I've been like doing high knees down the track pretty much, and I'm not really going anywhere. It looks like I'm running fast, but I wasn't at all. So then I just took the energy I was putting in the air, in the ground instead. And then the 669 race was the race I really felt like, oh, this works. So then I'm like hitting, and I feel myself like my stride lengthening and like feeling more powerful and fast. And I running down the track and I crossed the line. And I was like, I was fast. Like, I wonder what that was. But like, I wasn't actually thinking that. It was the weirdest feeling ever. Like I knew it was fast, but just I didn't know how fast until I saw the 669. I was like, oh, that's for real fast. I've always felt and believed that I had that potential in me for the longest time, but like that's where my like stress and my a feeling of hopelessness came in, because like I had that belief in the depths of my heart, like I think I have the talents and I feel like I deserve to run at a Division I college someday.
Nice. First, this makes me really proud because I'm a Boilermaker. But first, we have Jasiah Rogers, who's going to be heading to West Lafayette, Indiana, signing for track to be a Boilermaker and attend Purdue University. Congratulations. In business management, smart decision. Multiple regional championships. Current state leader in the 100 meter. All-American in the 60 meter. All-American, folks. Yeah. It's a big country. Yeah. I would like to say from the school, the athletic department, and I know I probably speak for some of your classmates. Congratulations, very proud of you. Thanks for a great 4 years. You're certainly leaving this institution, this place, a better place than when you arrived here. Your hard work, your determination, your work ethic, your personality, you being humble all the time, setting an example for others. I don't think we can be more proud of you. So congratulations. You're going to be a great Big Ten runner. We expect great things, and I know you'll keep grinding away and working at it. So one more round of applause. Yeah.
Goals I have for outdoor season is to run under 10.4 and a 200 run under 21.5.
The season was very educational. I learned a lot of good knowledge and good techniques to then
Me too.
put forth in my races. Things I didn't even know were a thing until I met Coach Joe. It'll take some time to readjust and make these new techniques a habit. I've noticed this over the past couple of months. I'm a little impatient, and I wanted the new stuff to come quick, and I realized it's not gonna come quick. So I'm glad that I was able to pick up necessary tools to then bring out my full potential, which I know I have, and to be able to, in the future, to run better times, which also I know that I can run. So thank you.
Slam it, Izza. Slam it. 10 seconds.
If we get there.
Here we go. Push up and out. Shoulders rise. Describe the staying tall, or how that last rep was.
So, as I was walking back from that rep, I came with this like perfect analogy. How you ever, has your mom ever told you not to slouch? Don't slouch when you run. There's a difference between being natural and straightening your back. Natural running versus straightening your back. You have more strength and more power further down the track and later in the race.
Fastest teenager in the history of this state. What does that mean to you?
That means the world to me, honestly, to be able to be a senior and leave my mark on the state last year, and hopefully my record will stand for a good amount of time. It means a lot to me. All the hard work I put in, all the time, dedication, and sacrifice, it's all for this.
Now, technically, this looked like a flawless race. I mean, you've got a good start.
Yeah.
You maintained well. You were lifting. Now, it's kind of weird. You win a sprint race by 0.3 of a second. That never happens.
Right.
Was that strange to be so far ahead, or were you just concentrating on your own lane?
I've been focusing on my race, really, eliminating outside distractions, whether I'm behind or in front, and that really helped me to hone in on my race and my skills and be able to do what I'm able to do.
Did you feel like running at Boston, making that final at New Balance Nationals and getting fourth, I think that was a good growth step for you?
100%. To see so many talented athletes in one place and to be able to take that experience back home and then keep performing at a high level it was very crucial.
What are aspirations outdoors? I mean, you looking to run like under 10:30 in 100 meters or something?
That's definitely something I've been aiming to do, to break the outdoor state record for the 100-meter dash and, put my name on the school record board again. That would be an honor. Yes, sir.
And then what about college? Are you being recruited quite a bit? Have you made a commitment yet?
I have not made a commitment yet, but I am being recruited by a few different schools.
Okay. Well, congratulations. 6:68 is pretty serious sprinting.
Thank you.
Don't usually see that in this state. That must be kind of gratifying as well.
It's been an honor to be able to work so hard and be able to come out for my school and for my family and represent.